thought you were ready. What's up?
We almost had it synchronized that time. We were like 3 seconds off.
Oh, what's up, y'all?
Yay!
Welcome to week 13.
Dun dun dun! The day after Halloween. Or no, 2 days after Halloween, but
I was totally waiting for her to make a 13 with her fingers.
I thought better. Because we don't know what might have happened and I might throw an accidental gang sign. And then we're in trouble. Alright. But yay, Sarah and
Heather.
Ask a Health Coach.
What? Super excited today. Did everybody have an awesome Halloween? Who's on candy overload? A little bit.
I know. I did. I wasn't going to get candy for trick-or-treaters, but then I caved at the last minute, and then I had like 4 trick-or-treaters. So I had
a lot of leftovers.
So I'm like, what do I do with it? Although I did see a place that you could donate candy, but I don't know if you can do it if it's not in the bag.
I don't know. I'm just glad that only one of my kids went trick-or-treating, so we just have a little bit of candy, and he's doing good at rationing it out.
Like a ration, like have like 1 piece.
1 piece.
That's 1 piece.
I am excited about today's topic.
Yes!
We're going to talk about growing your own food.
Grow your own. Grow your own produce.
Yes. I don't know how many of you have ever had a garden. I have had a garden probably 4 years now. I did a dirt garden for 2 years, and then I've been using aeroponics the last 2 years, and it's been amazing. What's up, Rustin?
Hey!
But we just want to talk about why it's important to grow your own.
Yes, to grow your own fruits and veggies. Oh my goodness. So I have this thing pulled up because we actually did more research. We're getting better at the preparing. Just for you guys. So we can bring you the best and the most current information. I don't know what's with my hand gestures today.
Because she can't do 13, she's going to do this.
Handguns. All right, I'm going to holster those bad boys. All right, so of course the first and number 1 thing about growing your own is gardening improves your health, because obviously we are going to be growing these fruits and vegetables and we will be eating these fruits and vegetables.
Well, and also just the act of like gardening is just good for your brain. Like it's one of those things like we talked about, you know, doing something, good for your brain.
Engaging yourself.
I know lots of people that love to, you know, work in their yard as a stress relief. Gardening is kind of the same thing.
Yes, absolutely. But in terms of healthy, why is it better to grow our own vegetables health-wise than buying them in the grocery store, Heather?
Well, there's a lot of reasons. My main reason is I like to eat fresh fruits and vegetables. So when you're buying produce in the grocery store, usually it wasn't picked that day, right? It was picked a long time ago, probably before it was supposed to be. So before it was right. And then it was trucked across the country, because we get a lot of our stuff from California, Florida. So it travels a long way. And so they're trying to preserve it the whole time, and then when they're ready to put it in the store, they want it to look pretty and they want it to look right, so they gas them
to make them ripen,
and then stick them on the shelf for us.
So you have the question of how long has my produce sat off the vine before I get it at home and eat it? And then you figure it's at home, you might put it in your crisper for a few days or a week.
And we know that, hey Brandy, we know that as soon as something is picked, it starts to die.
It starts to lose its nutrients because it's no longer absorbing any, it's no longer at the source of life. So technically, it is not really a live fruit anymore, and we're not getting the live enzymes that are like in the produce are decreasing over time.
Yes.
And we heard a really crazy statistic about apples.
Oh my gosh. So there is a registered dietitian named Heather Wonke, and she's amazing.
Yay!
So I got to hear her talk, and she said like the average apple, the average like non-organic apple in the grocery store can be up to a year
1
old.
year.
Y'all, a year?
Like think about that. That's boggled my mind when I heard that, because I was like, how is that apple still edible after a full year? And because it's just like what Heather said, like it's picked before it's right, and then it's like stored, and then
cold.
It's ripened when they feel like they want to put it on the shelf. So you have to figure like, what nutrients am I getting? And that's what we talked about too, was the recommendation used to be 5 to 7. And now it's what, 7 to 13?
Well, and they used to say an apple a day keeps the doctor away. Now it's more like 5 apples a day.
Well, and another reason for that is not only the length of time that it leaves the vine or the tree or wherever until it gets to you, is the nutrients in our soil extremely depleted.
Yeah, for
like
sure.
we're over tilling and over utilizing our soil, so all of the nutrients in there, they don't have time to like replenish, which is another reason they're adding all of these like fertilizers and all this stuff, so you're getting all this artificial stuff into your food because they're trying to get the plants to grow because there aren't natural nutrients left in the soil.
Exactly. It's crazy.
It is.
So when you're, growing your own food at home, you can pick it and eat it, within a week.
A second.
I mean, like,
You can pick and literally just put it directly into your mouth. Hi, Leah!
I often harvest my salad as I'm making my salad, and that is just so cool to have, like, such fresh produce.
And you know exactly what your plant has been on it, what you feed it in terms of nutrients. Like, you control if you put any kind of chemicals on it, which no, we don't recommend that. Like, there's natural things you can use to keep away pests, but you know exactly what's going into your body. You are in full control of that.
Absolutely. And we want to be in full control of our health, and the only way to do that is to grow your own.
Because we're taking healthy baths.
What? Healthy living revolution.
And we talked about improving your health, but also reconnecting. Like, think about how cool it's going to be if you can garden with your kids and show them, like, hey, we have this little seed and we're planting it, and then watch it grow. And, like, I mean, little kids get so excited. I have friends that garden with their kids. They get so excited, and then they get to say, this thing that you grew, you get to eat. And so you're reconnecting with your family, you're feeling the satisfaction, you're passing that on to your kids, they're getting the satisfaction.
You're reconnecting with where our food comes from. So many kids today have no idea where food comes from. Jamie Oliver did a show called Food Revolution, and he went into a classroom and he was just showing elementary school kids like vegetables, and they couldn't name them. They didn't know what they were.
Yeah.
And he asked them, like, where did potatoes come from? And they're like, Kroger. They had no idea that potatoes were grown in the ground. So it's just really cool to reconnect even with where our food comes from, teaching our kids that food doesn't come from the grocery store. It actually
comes from the ground or the earth, or we can grow it, essentially. And then you can get into like cooking with your kids, like start to finish, show them the whole process. Get back to our roots. Roots. And what else? Oh, cost effectiveness. How many of you have gone into the organic produce section and been like, what? I mean, and they say, people, one of the number one complaints we get as health coaches and as fitness coaches is it's too expensive to eat healthy. And sadly, like, produce is very expensive. I mean, and you go into the packaged aisle and you can get something for a couple bucks, and then you go into the produce aisle, you are spending, so it's like investing in your wellness, but
remember, like, what we're paying for with that produce. We had to pay for it to be trucked and stored for miles and miles. So, the gas, the environment it's just crazy. We're paying a lot to get produce at all.
Right.
So when you're growing it yourself, like, you have bought a $2 packet of seeds. You spend a little money on, maybe watering it. It's just really cost effective.
It is, and then also too, if you're growing more nutrient dense food, you're having to buy, and consume like way more kale from a grocery store than you are if you grow it your own in a soil or off of your tower, however you're growing it. It's way more cost effective.
Absolutely. And we're going into like the winter months, and it's not a great growing season, because it gets really cold. I have people that say, they don't have room in their backyard to do a big dirt garden, or even, I did a raised bed garden for a couple years, and I just didn't have as much yield as I wanted, and it was a lot of work.
Yeah, getting into soil, it is a lot of work, and I know that there are people that love to garden, love soil gardening, and there's something about that, and it's not always possible. Like, I live in a townhouse, and I also have a black thumb. I always say I have a black thumb. But have no fear, because there are amazing new technologies now that enable anyone, anywhere, even urban, living in a city, high-rise, to grow your own indoors with an aeroponic.
Year-round, y'all.
Aeroponic tower garden. Yeah, you can have it inside or outside.
And here's some of the coolest things. It's called a tower garden. It's made by Juice Plus, and there's no soil, so you're not getting dirty. I know some people like to get dirty, and I'm not a big fan. There is 98% less water. So if you're really trying to, reduce your carbon footprint, like we're using less water, we're not using any soil, it gets a higher yield even, like 30% higher yield and faster. What's the other things?
And 3 times faster than normal growing. It grows faster than soil plants. And again, the luxury of like growing indoors. I mean, I think it's like 2 feet in diameter by 4 feet tall, or 5 feet if you get some extender. And you can grow 20 different plants in this tower that takes up, a 2 foot diameter. You can put it in the corner, have grow lights on it, and grow right in your kitchen.
It's amazing, y'all. Like, I did it my first year. I had my tower garden outdoors, and it was amazing. We got a lot of great produce. But I brought it indoors for the winter that year, and I have not taken it back outside. It's just it's been amazing. It's
so
right
much
in my
cleaner gardening, and then you run the risk of way less pests if you're growing inside too.
Oh, absolutely. And I like to say that I get to farm in heels.
High heel farmer.
Yeah.
And I always say even a black thumb can do it, because I have successfully grown things that I've been able to eat. And I kill every plant I've ever owned. So, I mean, this is pretty amazing. It's very self-contained. You do obviously tend to it, but
it's way less work though. It waters itself, so you're not watering your garden every day. You do have to check to make sure it has water. I have let it run out before and killed all my plants, but
sad day.
It waters itself. It's amazing, and it really does yield a lot. So I grow greens all winter long. Like I said, I can harvest my salad as I'm making it. It's that fresh, and we have so much. I have a family of 4 that I'm still giving stuff away. I take stuff to my mom all the time. Off of my garden. It's really successful.
So if you want to know more about that, contact Heather or myself. We can tell you all about the really cool growing system.
And I'll post pictures in the comments of my tower, because y'all will be blown away that I grew something.
She did. So, I mean, but really, whether you were growing indoors on an aeroponic tower or outside in a raised bed in a garden, we would strongly recommend, like, grow your own. Like they always say, buy local. Well, why don't you be your own farmer?
Right? You can't get any more local than your house.
You just go to your backyard or into your kitchen and pick some vegetables. Like I can't tell you the most rewarding feeling I felt when I first ate something that I had grown.
Yes.
Like I never had that. We didn't farm. I didn't have a garden when we were growing up, anything like that. And so it'd be like, I made the seed. I made it, not really made it, but I made it become a plant. And then it's produced something that I put into my body, and I know I'm feeding myself amazing nutrition.
Yeah, so I mean, really our challenge to you is just to grow something. Like
start with herbs.
Yeah, you can grow herbs in the winter in your windowsill, or even just get a big pot this spring and grow your own tomatoes. Like that's something.
You can grow tomatoes, a little tomato cage in a pot, grow tomato, or try and grow. What are some other things that grow easily?
I mean, definitely herbs. You can grow.
And celery. Can't you grow celery from other celery? Like if you do get one celery, like you can like grow celery from other celery. I mean, there's all kinds of magical things that can be done with plants. I don't know all of them. Again, I'm a little bit of a black thumb. But yeah, you can grow anything you want and just try it. And like think about basil. Try basil. Basil grows really well indoors and outdoors. And think how expensive basil is in the grocery store. And you can just grow your own.
Away.
And then you have fresh basil. I love basil.
Amazing. I love mint. We always grow mint because I use it for everything. It's super good.
Yeah. So also, we encourage you, comment, like if you garden or have a tower or anything, post your pictures in the comments too. We want to see what you're growing, what are your favorite things to grow, anything you want to contribute about growing your own vegetables, because it's amazing. I know my sister-in-law Jackie's on, and her work, she just messaged me yesterday and she said my work just got 3 tower gardens.
Oh, awesome.
I had no idea. She was like, look, I walked into work and they just were there.
That's amazing.
So she got some towers.
We're putting towers in the school that's next to here, and they're going to be able to have it as curriculum and teach their kids what we were talking about, how food comes from seed and they get to grow it themselves and eat it, and they're going to love it. It's going to be so fun.
And if you want to know about that too, if you have kids and you think their school would love to have a growing system, they also have curriculum
Yes,
that come
it's
with
amazing.
them. So like you can get grants, like put them in these schools, and then we're growing them in schools.
Yeah.
Like it's
Awesome.
pretty amazing, and it's something we're passionate about.
And you know, when kids, like she said, when kids take ownership of it and grow their own, they want to eat it.
Yeah, I think
It's these little kids picking up off kale and eating it and being like, I grew this.
wasn't there, what was it, like kids that ate fruits and vegetables in this school before was only like 30%, and then when they grew their own, that number jumped to like 70
Yeah, it
something
was crazy
percent of
awesome.
kids that wanted to eat fruits and vegetables because they were part of the process.
Yeah.
Like you're not going to be part of the whole process and they go, do you want to try it? You're going to go, no. Of course you want to eat it. You helped it grow.
Yeah, it's super exciting.
So
So, grow your own food. If you're in Antioch, come to Shineworthy. We
Yes,
have
come
amazing
get some tea.
I'm having mango Amazon today, and it's so like delicious. Like it was sitting on the table, and I'm like, something
It's like
smells so
wafting.
good. I'm like, it's my tea.
yeah. And we're here every Wednesday. We're live with you on Facebook.
Yes.
But if you're around the area, like
Oh my
stop
gosh,
into
come say
Shineworthy and come
hi.
see us in person.
That would be awesome.
Oh my gosh, we could have like guests.
We could have like a photo bombing challenge. Like
Like-
whoever stops by can just be right here.
Just like a hovering.
That'd be awesome.
But yay, we're so glad you're here.
Oh, our drawing. Oh, totally forgot.
Shoot.
We did our drawing. Who won? We didn't do our drawing.
didn't do our
We
drawing.
totally forgot. We will do
Oh my
our
gosh.
drawing,
We'll do
y'all,
our
and
drawing.
we'll just post it in the comments.
And we'll post it in the comments. Yeah,
Yep.
that's a good plan because
Sorry.
we totally blanked on that.
Totally forgot.
Our drawing for October. But
But everybody who's on live, commenting, sharing, y'all are all entered for November's prize too.
that's right. So you're
stay
automatically
tuned.
in our November drawing for the end of this month, but we
Yep.
will announce last month's in the comments.
Yep. Thanks, guys.
We love you.
Yay.
Bye.
Bye.